please welcome Nicholas Said, Jie Ting Fung on stage.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. 大家好。Please. OK. 哎呀，大家好，我係謝霆鋒。It's really an honor to be here tonight, though I'm still not sure how I qualify to be on this side of the room, because frankly speaking, I've not sat in your seats. But let's get down to business.
Thank you so much. We're so honored to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm a big fan of you. But anyway, let's talk about creativity.
Right. Let's take music and take food, for example. For me, I guess the first step would be, in music, I would like to gather the notes to write a song. And in food, you would need to gather the ingredients to build a dish. The next step forward would actually be, okay, for food, are you trying to build a fusion type of cuisine, or is it Thai, or is it Mala, right? So in music, it would be, you're trying to do heavy metal or rock or jazz. One step up, okay, if it's jazz, so maybe I'll use a violin. In food, the next step up would be, if I want to do Thai, maybe I'll do something fried, so to make it crispy. So that is my thought process, and I actually find that it's very identical throughout the different fields.
Identical in a way, both film, food is really an art.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're mixing the two together.
I think for me, music is more spontaneous. So it's down to my emotions, my memories, and for sure the experience. What is the story or the motive behind the creation?
You always have a theme about like looking into yourself, slightly rebellious.
Yes. I think that is very important for the soul of music. And let's say 推倒重來. I think we are at a very interesting intersection of culture, technology, humanity, in a sense where we can't see everything as 推倒重來, because especially with the AI disruption, now that AI is growing so exponentially fast, it's even hard to keep up every week. It seems like there's a breakthrough, an update every week. So everything is 推倒重來, and that's what inspired me to create the song. And I think even at this interjunction, I think even our values are 推倒重來, are being challenged. I'm sure each one of us, we've been taught growing up to 努力工作、努力讀書 right? 即係我肯定我哋每一個人都係由細到大，老師又好、媽咪又好、爹哋又好，都會話我哋努力讀書、努力工作，第日賺錢就應該會有個唔錯嘅將來啦。And of course now there are people like coming out to say work is optional. There might be no work. 咁我哋努力乜嘢啊 right? So all these values are being challenged. So it's 推倒重來. Yeah.
Well, we were in the backstage and we talked a bit about AI and your view about technology. You said that 10 years ago you have suggested something really breakthrough, but then you were so ahead of your time, nobody listened. Can you go into that story?
Yeah, we were talking about how AI and technology will probably transform media, especially in the form of artist or celebrity management. 我諗十年前啦，都超過10年前。因為我之前有做過一間公司係做computer graphics， 咁即係電腦特效嘅一間公司啦。咁我哋好多時拍完一部戲咧，係需要去digitally 去 scan 我哋自己嘅樣，咁我哋會做好多表情，你嘅喜怒哀樂係咩樣，去 capture 我哋自己嘅 features， 去盡量去做一個精準少少嘅 computer graphic of ourselves on screen. That's very modern. That's very modern of you. 係啦，咁
I have the best view of you, so I can take the picture.
Thank you. OK，咁就係我當有一日我做緊呢一個 process of digitally scanning myself，咁我就突然間有個 idea，我同我個經理人 Manny 講，我話如果英皇娛樂喺10年後或者15年後要好 successfully 去繼續 run 呢一個 artist management 嘅部門，我相信每一個藝人都應該好似我而家咁去 scan 我哋自己嘅樣 in different age cycle， 即係可能係20至30歲嘅謝霆鋒，你有20、30歲嘅容祖兒 ，and then of course all the artists are scanned，and then 10年後我哋就可以 license 出去，因為我相信10年後、15年後係唔會需要我哋人類去 physically 去拍廣告啊、拍電影啊，因為你諗下我可能做好多我自己嘅 action films， 咁其實佢哋連買保險都困難嘅時候，如果你可以去 digitally 去 license， 就算有好多我哋好鍾意好崇拜嘅 athletes，right？ I think a lot of people can actually make use of digital licensing。當然你話10幾年前我講呢啲嘢，佢哋都覺得我傻嘅。咁 but now that we have experienced NFT, blockchain, I think technologically speaking, we are able to do it。不過就睇下邊個係個白老鼠咯。
That will be probably good so everyone have a share in this new technology, and they will be able to, have royalty.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and I have a discussion with the former president of AMPAS, the Oscar membership, and she is advocating there's a coalition about having 5,000 people in Hollywood because it's very union, and they're going to have safeguard how to kind of have this way to protect their livelihood and their images. And so, what do you think? What are the ways to kind of
I think
advocate?
it's a bit too early to say, and I think it's such a sophisticated field that I shouldn't say right now. But in a way, people like us, who work as maybe so-called an artist or a celebrity, I think that age is coming to an end. Yeah, because I think eventually with AI technology now that a lot of people will want to personally customize their own AI celebrity. So I think this is, we are at a sunset business. It's almost like, to me, it's like an RPG game. Why it is so immersive and so, attached is because you are literally, you are basically building your own character and then selecting its growth path. I think that will be the future of people like us who are in the entertainment industry, because you may not think, 喂，謝霆鋒，如果我可以整一個 AI 嘅超級偶像，我會希望佢有吳彥祖嘅樣，但係我要佢識得好似 C 朗咁踢波，但係我要佢唱歌似 Taylor Swift。There will be customizations in the future to perfect what you have in mind. 所以我哋呢個I think 可能我講完俾人鬧 but it's the beginning of the end of a lot of businesses if we don't understand AI enough to pivot.
Let's actually come to, you said that you saw ahead of your time. You sold your business a while ago, and you're moving into food. And you said that experience, taste, all the stuff cannot be replaced by AI.
Yes.
When you started your Chef Nick, were you aware of the new technology, and that's why you started?
No, we started Chef Nick brand purely because I'm a foodie. I love food, and anyway, and I've always thought that food is not only something we consume; we see it as an experience. It's an experience that I'm sure AI cannot replicate because it is biologically, chemically impossible for AI to understand. I think everything I do for now is evolving around experience. Like last year when I was doing one of my the concerts in Hangzhou, that was the first 內地嘅 city. And I challenged myself to do something called a 六角體驗. I wanted to give the fullest experience, right? 所以嗰六角係咩角咧？咁係即係我覺得視覺你係可以睇緊我嘅 concert， 聽覺你當然係聽緊我嘅音樂。咁味覺就係因為你可以喺個場內食到我哋啲 chef-made products。咁我就諗，咁嗰個嗅覺同觸覺點算咧？咁我有一隻歌叫香水，咁我哋就打咗俾 Tiffany， 我話我希望我唱緊呢隻香水嘅時候，大家真係聞到香水。咁they were very kind and they sponsored us with insane amount of 香水啦。So we sprayed the Tiffany perfume onto these butterfly confettis. So when I was performing this 香水嘅歌，you would have confetti of blue confettis with the smell of Tiffany perfume, and you could touch the confetti, and you could smell the 香水。咁呢個就係嗰個 five senses, right？ 咁最後嗰一角係咩咧？其實我哋入場嘅時候，我哋就派咗一個 3D glasses。咁個 3D glasses 你望去一啲 flare， 即係有 lighting 嘅地方咧，咁我哋係會有個hologram of a butterfly。You must make the creativity so sophisticated that AI cannot replicate. I think creativity, to me, is still the core of business, is still the idea, the fundamental of creation. But I think the value of creativity has diminished so much over the past just 6 months. People are losing jobs, okay? There are a lot of what I call a one-step creation professions. Things like graphic design, things like music composing, script writing, right? All these are a one-step plug and play. 我老闆叫我整張 poster， 下個月鄭凌峰有部新戲叫《怒火蔓延》。OK， 我 design。So people are losing these jobs because it's a one-step process. Okay. So I like to have a core idea, and I want to protect this core idea with multiple smaller ideas or resources and synergize them so it is fortified against the AI disruption. Now this is anti-AI.
That's great. So we have we will open to questions. We divided this into 3 sections: creativity.
喺呢度，你哋啲冷氣好勁。我終於明白頭先 professor 話 I'm a big fan， 佢話 there's a big fan。大佬。
Well, our university is very generous. They turn on the aircon so high that everyone, need a jacket. Take your time.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah. Big fan.
Big fan. Okay, so we have divided into 3 sections. First, creativity. Second, entrepreneurship. Third, entertainment. So we break with questions from the audience. Cheryl, can you please?
All right. Thank you, Nicholas and Ruby, for the inspiring session. It's now time for some collected questions from the floor, and I have them right here with me. Nicholas, are you ready?
Sure.
Let's start with this one. A question from Angus, who actually worked with you before. He was an accompanist at one of your concerts. So how do musicians stay competitive in today's music industry? And what skills do they need now that are different from before?
That's a very, very tough question because some of my favorite music recently is actually pure AI. Okay. I think as musicians or anything with performing arts, live performance I think is very, very important because live interaction is spontaneous, it's emotional, And it will be different every time, depending on the venue, the people you come with. So it is different every time, and that is anti-AI algorithm. So it cannot really predict what we are going to talk about. So I think live music is one. And the second thing I would say is that inspiration behind the creation. Let's just say one of my favorite songs of all time would be Tears in Heaven from Eric Clapton. And the first two lines go like this. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? So he wrote this song because his son died, right? So us as audience, knowing this gives this song, this creation, motive and life behind the song. So then we feel for his loss, we feel the pain. And this is something AI can never do, is because if you ask AI, why did you write the song? It'll tell you, well, you just prompted the song. So I think the motive and the story, the history behind any creation is still very important.
Fantastic. And one more before we wrap up the Q&A. How do you maintain your enthusiasm for your job, whether it's food, movies, or music? It seems that you never get tired. When I'm at work, I often feel exhausted and lack motivation. Nicholas, how would you respond to that?
That's why, 即係第一性原理就係你要揾到你最鍾意嗰樣嘢。This may sound too cliche, but it's going to be tiring. It's going to be boring. It's going to be, if you don't want it to feel like work, you must start with something you truly love. Then are you willing to endure failure after failure, maybe even suffering and humiliating, that you will still look forward to the next day and build upon your idea?
Thank you, Nicholas, for your thoughtful answers. And now we will turn to the second part of our conversation tonight on entrepreneurship. I'll pass the time over to Ruby and Nicholas.
Well, you said that you embrace everything.
Yes.
Because it should be open-minded. I think we cannot get away not using AI. So in a lot of ways, we also, our students using AI, but they have to be transparent about it. And also in research, it saves them a lot of time. So as long as there's ethical use of it, we let our students use it. So, we have to embrace it.
Yes.
Like it not. But we're talking about entrepreneurship. You started a company many years ago. So is it because I actually read somewhere that you were saying that, in the US, there's this big remote company. Why don't
Yes.
in the East, China can do the same?
Well, back then I had I was doing a lot of commercials and movies where I needed the service of post-production. And back then the post-production standard of Hong Kong companies, really wasn't that advanced. So, and me being, really curious in nature, and I just like to know how things work behind the scenes. So I actually invested in a post-production company, and and that was that. And it was actually more complicated than I thought.
But then, you said you're a foodie. You
Yes.
love food, so you then turn into this very successful Chef Nick business. How do you build this business?
I think we should understand now that we have our own personal brands. I mean, you all have your own personal brands by doing your own social media. And I think if you can understand how to find your community, you can then capitalize on this personal brand, because now what we've built is a content to commerce kind of business. And like what I was saying about having a core idea. Okay, let's say my core idea is to make delicious, healthy, and convenient food products. But that's not very innovative. So how do we build upon that? And so we structured a lot of reality shows. We have competitions. We have events. We have a lot of different kinds of storytelling to enforce and to synergize within ideas. And now the brand is really taking off.
It's interesting you said storytelling in building your brand.
Yes.
So, film and everything, music is about storytelling.
Yes.
And food is about story.
Food is about storytelling.
Can you elaborate that?
Like what I was saying about the experience, I think food is to me is actually the true international language. Sometimes I sing in 國語, sometimes I sing in 廣東話, and there will still be a difference in in the audience who some would prefer 你不如唱廣東話啦，或者你不如唱國語啦。但係當你係講到食嘅時候，好似大家對甜酸苦辣。又係，即係無論係我哋今日坐喺呢一間房嘅人，又或者你可能去到西班牙嘅人，當你講到甜酸苦辣 ，now that international language becomes, it's understood by everyone. So I think, to me, food has this power of communicating.
That's great. Usually the films that speak to the universal theme are the most successful. The same with food.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you pointed out, 甜酸苦辣 is the same.
Yes.
But of course, everyone has the different standards.
Interpretations,
Yeah.
yes. The product is absolutely the number one thing, of course. And we have to keep reinventing ourselves because, with the disruption of AI and everything else, of course, it is also assisting in our daily operations in terms of maximizing or optimizing supply chains and whatnot. But we just have to understand different markets and to maybe customize and find exclusivity is something that we really try hard on. 即係譬如話，你可能喺香港71，你買包薯片係咁大嘅，但係你去上海 Costco， 同一包薯片同一個味道係咁大嘅。So what happened? Because everybody wants the hero product. Nobody wants the second bestseller. Nobody wants a runner-up. They want the hero product. So you tweak the specs, you tweak the packaging, the bundle buys, and whatever you can to customize to cater to their audience, and that's something we do a lot.
Well, how do you divide your time? Creativity is one side of your brain.
Yeah.
You have like a business meeting, I'm sure, with your
Right.
employee talking about the branding of products.
Right.
How do you divide your time?
I'm still quite in charge of the innovation part. So cooking, in a sense, we're doing that industrial cooking and not cooking at home. And I'm always on a diet, for the movies and whatnot. So it's 即係有啲矛盾嘅。咁但係其實我每年最難嘅時候咧，就係我每年嘅1月同埋每年嘅5月，我係最辛苦嘅，因為5月尾6月就要賣種啊。咁我1月就會試好多百隻種，咁啊糯米嚟㗎嘛，你明白？咁當然我哋入邊又有又有臘腸，又有五花腩，又即所以我1月嘅時候，我係最難嘅，就我因為要試種。咁到5月6月嘅時候咧，就開始我要去研發啲月餅。月餅又係we understand 月餅 right? It's great, it's delicious, but it's fattening. 所以呢兩innovation and cooking in my terms now it's become this kind of cooking.
Actually, AI cannot replace that.
Of course.
But that's so. Tell us a little bit more about this kind of unique stuff that in your life that nobody knows, like 試粽、試月餅. It's so interesting.
下次我整一個 live of一個直播我哋試，即係你哋會睇到係會覺得唔係啊嘛？你點會即係現場係有咁多近100款月餅？最慘係咩咧？即係可能我已經用2日3日同我哋個 team 去試完晒100幾隻月餅，過2日有人同我講。嗰個廠嘅鹹蛋黃唔夠，我哋換咗個廠，所以重新試過。係經常會咁嘅，因為你個 supply chain 有時入邊個位唔穩定，咁我哋要we have to make sure that the supply chain is standardized and everything. So sometimes the process can go on for months, and it's very very crazy. But I think we are improving in the sense where we know which ones to collaborate with.
Wow, then this job cannot be delegated because you want to make sure.
係咁除咗我都仲有即係一班我哋嘅 palate special palate testers 係會一齊食嘅。
All right. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Ruby. That was a wonderful conversation on entrepreneurship. And it's time for questions from the floor. And let's start with this one. Nicholas, you've used creativity to turn local ingredients like Yunnan coffee beans, 雲南咖啡豆, into successful products through Chef Nick. You've also worked on rural revitalization, partnering with local farmers. How do you build a brand while creating meaningful impact in rural communities?
我仍然係覺得好重要，即係如果我哋係一個都開始長大嘅一間公司 ，to have some sort of responsibility for the community。咁好似我哋啱啱所講嘅雲南咖啡豆，其實我哋係呢個係一個振興鄉村嘅一個 product。咁我哋即係幫到少少即係種咖啡豆嘅農民啦。咁呢個係我哋同新華社嘅一個聯名產品啦。We're very proud of the product actually. If you like coffee, especially if you like iced coffee, the crystallization technology of the instant coffee powder it's very advanced. Usually, if you like iced coffee, you would have to make hot coffee first and then you have to cool it. No, not with our coffee powder, you could put it in cold water and it will still instantaneously dissolve into, perfect coffee. So, we are trying to also have a little bit of responsibility to the community, and these are the things we do.
And one final question. For students who want to become entrepreneurs one day, what solid steps would you suggest they take before getting started?
Back to number one is to find the thing you truly, truly love, because it is going to be a pain in the butt. So, you got something you love, you try to master it. You try to build around it, okay? You may not be able to master it, because I haven't mastered many of my crafts, but hey, I'm not, I wanted to be a singer when I debuted. But I wasn't born with the best voice, the best rhythm. So I built around that craft. 唱得唔係最好啊，學寫歌啦，學吉他啦，學 performance 啦，學編曲啦。You do everything to support that thing you love. Then you might have a chance. Then you understand the market. You find an opening and you disrupt. And then, if you can, you scale.
Great answers.
Thank you, Nicholas, for the valuable advice.
Thank you. So, talking about tough job, when you were an actor doing all the stunt, I heard that you did all the stunt yourself.
Oh, there are many stunts that are really memorable, because I definitely will not be able to pull these stunts off, at this age. But that is Hong Kong cinema culture. I grew up watching. I grew up watching Dan Go, and these to me are my heroes, And in fact, we have influenced the world to focus and to look at Hong Kong cinema because of these people, because of our action. So, I wasn't brought up as a stuntman, but to me, it was just so satisfying to be able to participate as, in this bigger picture. So I just challenged myself to do every stunt. And luckily, I'm still alive. I'm still in one piece, yeah.
Probably you have a lot of good stunt director.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And Hong Kong film is so famous for its work, and of course now with AI you can don't need to do that dangerous stunt work.
即係我唔知你哋係咪可能你哋呢一個 generation 呢個年紀未睇過好多我以前嘅作品啦。I think was 2000我同大哥 Jackie Chan we were jumping off we rolled off the convention center 即係我哋喺會所以我而家每次經過會展嗰個頂我都仲會記得。哇！嗰一刻我哋都幾黐線，我同成大哥喺會展個頂咁樣碌落嚟，真係唔知諗緊咩嘅咧。咁其實喺香港我有好多都叫做啲地標嘅大廈，其實我自己都做過好多中環有一層樓，我哋又係同一部電影41樓到嘅，即係我哋兩個係咁樣跳落去。當然我哋有會 have harnesses and wires，OK？但係呢啲就已經變咗我自己每日如果經過呢啲地方嘅時候 ，that's my experience。And these are my memories.
Yes, AI can never replace your own experience and memory, and it's good to wow, I passed by that. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Going to a movie theater, it's not used to be.
Yeah.
I know, but how do you? Is there something that you would do to help the Hong Kong film industry? Any suggestion?
We have so much content right now. Content in the form of theater, in the form of short form videos, content that in a sense that where we are all bloggers, we are all influencers. So having the demand or the need to watch a movie has got less and less. Like in this room, I'm sure we're all UGC, right? User-generated content. So why do we need to, make a destination and participate in a movie that we might not enjoy? Oh my God, I'm going to get so much scolding tomorrow. But something has to change. Something has to change. So I think. So one of the movies that was doing really good is Zootopia, right? I think because now that is more of an experience that you are having with your family, with your kids. Everyone's laughing out loud. You don't have to be, too uptight and not look at your phone or whatnot. So some form of new experience has to be built on top of the cinema viewing.
Yeah, you mentioned experience, very important. The food you build around the experience, and people are no longer satisfied. It's passive receiving. You have to be interacting.
可能好不久嘅將來，我哋更加會有 AI goggles or whatever it is that is going to, be the new disruption. 咁當你有啲咁實時嘅 interaction 嘅時候，係咪真係就咁坐喺度睇一個2D screen 係 enough 咧？it's really challenging.
What a rich conversation, so many layers to unpack. Thank you both. And let's move on to some questions from our audience. And here's a question for you, Nicholas, and a challenging one too. Whether it's music, film, or culinary arts, you are known for your pursuit of perfection. In an era where fast content dominates, how do you balance the patience required for perfection with the rapid pace of the modern market?
I don't think originality, authenticity is enough for one to really stand out now. And honestly, I don't think, many people, the era of super influencers, I think is gone, especially now with AI content just rushing in 24/7. So instead of trying to be more creative or more authentic, now it's about relatability. You may not be able to conquer the whole globe. There will not be another Mr. Beast. But if you are relatable and you find your community, let's say, 我鍾意 food, 咁我搵到我嘅 food community. And if they think that I'm very good at what I do, it's a very vertical world right now, then they will try my products, they will understand, or at least try to connect with me. 咁你個 community 就有用. Right? So being relatable is maybe the only edge we have now over AI, because AI 唔可以同你講話係啊，我啱啱有試過嗰間餐廳，the experience wasn't that great. So whatever you can share, your unique experience, the relatability is now the value.
And the next question is about the changing landscape, because many young people dream of becoming successful creators like yourself. What do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities for new creators in the current entertainment industry?
We have to be positive on this closing. 都幾難我覺得我哋應該係真係 it's time to think as one, to think as humanity, because AI is a new species that if one learns, and there are 50 billion AIs, 50 billion will learn instantaneously. So if we're talking about the entertainment business, I think we as one business should think how we can maybe protect the last of our 知識產權, our IP rights, our royalties, the music, because very soon the next generation would want to have their own music. You know, you think of platforms like Spotify or QQ Music, you know, their biggest paychecks are going to record labels because of paying royalties to people like me. And do they want to do so? Of course not, and if AI can do it for free, they will want AI to do it for free. So if we're talking about the entertainment business, we should think as a whole, what movement should we try to save this decline? Positive. Positive 就係我哋好團結咁樣去一齊創造一個更好嘅未來。
And to follow up on that, one more question on AI to wrap it up. What do you think of AI? Is it a tool to embrace, a competitor to watch, or something in between? How would you define it?
It is both, and it is everything. It is the disruption that will maybe try. It's not AI. It's the people who understand and who can use AI properly will challenge your jobs, will challenge your creations. But if, you know, what I was talking about, a lot of the relatability or being able to deliver your own unique experience, then you can maybe go counter AI. And if you want, I mean, things that are very human to human interreactive will actually be the niche and the luxury, I think. 即係可能係人同人打麻將，人同人教瑜伽，即或者我哋再想去旅遊，但係我唔想帶住個 AI goggle， 我唔想要 AI 話俾我知行邊條路去食邊間，我淨係想有個人同我講，或者係 fine dining， 即係點解 fine dining 呢幾年亦都呢個 because of the experience of the you know dining process， so 有呢啲嘢嘅話，我哋可以融入 AI， 亦都可以選擇我哋再人啲咯。咁有啲乜嘢可以令到大家再人啲咧？咁 you know it's different for everybody.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Nicholas Chen. Thank you, Nicholas. Truly appreciate you being here with us tonight. And also thank you, Professor Ruby Yang and the HKU School of Future Media for hosting. And of course, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And before we officially conclude this evening, Nicholas, may I invite you to take a photo with our audience?
Please. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.